Great. All right, we're ready to get started. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the question and answer session for United Way of Southwestern Pennsylvania's Community Impact Grants Request for Proposal. Thank you so much for joining us, for your interest in this proposal, and for joining us here today. Great to see everyone. I'm Alyssa Chelodowski. I'm the Chief Program and Policy Officer with United Way of Southwestern Pennsylvania. I'm a white woman in my mid-50s with light brown hair, blue eyes. I'm wearing glasses and a green sweater, and I'm talking to you here from my office in downtown Pittsburgh. My pronouns are she, her. At today's session, I will provide an overview of this grant opportunity, introduce our Allegheny County Community Impact Team, and turn it over to our Community Impact Operations Director to lead us through the timeline and application. We will leave plenty of time for your questions after our presentation, but please feel free to drop any questions or comments in the chat while we are doing our presentation. We'll also have time at the end for people to come off of mute to ask any questions they have. This session is geared toward organizations located in Allegheny County, and there's another question and answer session on Friday for organizations working outside of Allegheny County, although the general information is the same across our region, so all are welcome to attend either of the sessions and any of our trainings. I would like to now introduce the members of our Allegheny County Community Impact Team, and we'll ask each person to provide their name and title, beginning with Sally Elwine.
Hi, good afternoon, everybody. My name is Sally Elwine. I am the Director of Meeting Basic Needs here at the United Way of Southwestern Pennsylvania. I am a biracial woman in my late 40s with medium brown skin and dark curly shoulder length hair. I'm sitting in my office at the United Way. My pronouns are she, her.
Thank you, Sally. And next we have Angela.
Hello, everyone. My name is Angela Malik. I'm the manager of Meeting Basic Needs here at the United Way. I am a woman in my mid-30s with short blonde hair, glasses, and my pronouns are she, her.
Thank you, Angela. Next, Elena.
Hi, everyone. My name is Alina Anderson. I am the director for Moving Toward Financial Stability. I am a middle-aged Black woman. I am, my hair is tied up. I have a black headband on and I'm wearing a red dress. And I am coming to you from my office space here at the United Way. And my pronouns are she, her.
Great, thanks, Alina. And next we have Alicia.
I'm Alicia Washington. I am the manager for Moving Towards Financial Stability. I'm an African-American woman in my early 30s, brown skin. I'm wearing a green top, a printed cardigan, and clear glasses. And I'm coming to you from my cubicle at United Way.
Thanks, Alicia. Next, we have Anna Kay.
Hi, everyone. I'm Anna Kay Yagubian. I'm the Director of Building for Success in School and Life. My pronouns are she, her. I'm a white woman in my early 40s. I'm wearing a green shirt with black and white flowers on it, and I come to you from my office space in Pittsburgh at the United Way offices.
Thank you. And we have Damon.
Hi, I'm Damon Bethay. My pronouns are he, his, him. I am a late 40-year-old Black male with dark skin, wearing dark framed glasses, and I have a lavender patterned shirt. I'm from my office here at United Way in the Pittsburgh office as well.
Thank you. Next, we have Sarah.
Hi, everyone. I'm Sarah Noel. I'm the Community Impact Director of Operations. I am a white woman in my late 30s with shoulder length red hair, dark glasses, and a green sweater. And I'm coming to you from a conference room at our United Way offices. Thanks.
Thank you. And Mary?
Hi, I'm Mary McHugh. I am a white woman with dark brown hair. I'm wearing a green and pink plaid shirt, and I am in my early 40s. I'm coming to you today from my Pittsburgh office at United Way, and My pronouns are she, her, and I am the grant manager for United Way.
Great. Kara?
Hi, I'm Kara Fullars. I'm coming to you from the Pittsburgh office, and I am the Community Impact Administrative Assistant. I'm a white female, early 40s, wearing a pink top.
Thank you. And then we also have Charlie.
Hi everyone, my name is Charlie Hall. I'm an intern with the Community Impact Team. I'm a grad student with the University of Pittsburgh School of Social Work. My pronouns are she and her. I am a white woman, early 30s, medium length brown hair, glasses, and I'm also at the Pittsburgh office.
Great.
And I have a red white sweater.
Great. Thank you, everyone, so much. It's just great to have all the team here with us today and for everyone to get to know you. So as our current funded partner agencies know, we have not done an RFP in Allegheny County for about 5 years, choosing to keep our current impact fund grants level throughout the pandemic and during our strategic planning. We also wanted to unify the timing of the grant making across our entire footprint, which is Allegheny, Armstrong, Butler, Fayette, and Westmoreland counties, which took some time to get us all into alignment with our grant timelines. And now we're very excited to launch the first ever all 5 county and all 3 investment priority area process for our impact fund grant making. As we prepared for this RFP, a key component was to expand our reach, encourage new partners to apply, provide opportunities for current and new partners to ask questions, access trainings, and then also to have open office hours with our team for one-to-one dialogue. Another key component was to be clear about our commitment to equity across race, gender, and ability by asking all applicants to demonstrate how they are being responsive to the communities they serve, inclusive of populations based on individual and collective identities, and most importantly, how their programs are advancing equity in our communities. Grants will be for a 3-year time period beginning on July 1st of 2023. Our strategic framework guides us as we bring our mission to improve lives by mobilizing the caring power of communities to action through 3 investment priorities and 12 strategies, which are outlined in the investment priority framework document, which is linked in the RFP materials. Through this RFP, we are seeking proposals that address the community challenges that our United Way team has set as our priorities with the Community Impact Fund dollars that we raise each year from generous donors, foundations, and corporations to respond to the needs of our community. As a quick overview, our 3 investment priority areas are meeting basic needs, connecting people at times of crisis with immediate and essential needs such as shelter, food, and safety. Moving toward financial stability, creating a path toward a more secure life by providing opportunities to earn a living wage and support for individuals and families to reach a sustainable future, avoiding more times of crisis. And building for success in school and life, supporting our early learners through school years to adulthood to have the best opportunities to reach their full potential. As you may have noted during our introductions, our community impact team is now aligned under each one of these priority areas to provide support and thought leadership in those priorities. We realize that some programs will cover 1 or 2 of these, or maybe all 3 areas, and we are prepared to work with our applicants to discuss the best alignment. And now I will turn it over to Sarah Noel to lead us through the timeline and application process. Again, feel free to put any comments, questions, or thoughts that you have in the chat, and we will get to those at the end of the presentation. We'll also have opportunity for people to ask questions by coming off of mute. So thanks again. It's wonderful to see everyone, to have you with us here today, and we look forward to working with you and hearing from you throughout this process. Thank you.
Thanks, Alyssa. As Alyssa mentioned, we've been working on this for a long time, and we're excited to open it up and hear and see all of your great proposals. This process that we're talking about right now is the first stage of the RFP. It is what we're calling the initial application. So while it did open yesterday, it is not due until January 12th of 2023. So you have plenty of time to ask questions and get your applications in. Following that, we will do a full proposal After the initial application, that will be by invitation only. Those will go out in late February. And then the full proposal will include much more detail, budgets, logic models, and other documentation as well. So this is just stage 1 of this process. These grants are open to anyone, all nonprofit organizations in the region, 501c3s, or if you do not have your own 501c3 status, a fiscal sponsor is an option as well. And anybody who is located in and serving primarily in our 5-county service area. So that's Allegheny, Armstrong, Butler, Fayette, and Westmoreland counties. And as Alyssa said, in alignment with that investment priority framework, which Charlie has shared in the chat as well. So the grants, as Alyssa mentioned, will be on a 3-year cycle from July through June of 2026. However, for the application, you should focus just on that first year, July 1 of 2023 until June 30th of 2024. So the budgets and all of the questions are just really focused on that single year. So to access the grant, everything will go through our online system. We're showing it up here. It's linked on our website, and Charlie will also put those links in the chat as well. If you are new to the system, you will be prompted to create an account. If your organization already has an account, you can create new contacts related to that, or add a brand new account if you're brand new to this process. If you're unsure about any part of that, logins, if you have an account, who's on your account, any of that, if you're not sure about, please feel free to reach out. My email is on the screen, and you'll get it again multiple times, but you can reach out to me directly to figure that out. And I will show you in the system a little bit as well. So when you go in, you'll be entered into this login page. Log in if you have a system, if you have a login already. And you'll be brought to this screen, which is a little bit unusual because the place to apply isn't where you expect it to be. You'll see the introduction here, but you need to just make sure that you go all the way up to this top right corner where it has login to create an account and apply, or if you're already logged in, it will just go ahead and say apply right there. So if you're logged in, you'll see here, again, you can go up to the apply button. You can also go down all the way to the bottom to the preview button, and that will allow you to see all of the questions and get an idea of what you are needed, what you're going to be asked ahead of time before you start the application. We also highly recommend that you use a word processor, Word, Google Docs, something like that to form all your questions first and your responses, and then paste them in later. That tends to work a little bit better, although you are able to save your application and come back to it another day. Once it's attached to your organization and to your contact, you'll be able to log in at any time and see your application and all of your materials. The application, we spent a long time trying to make sure that this was as simple as possible, as limited as we could make it to get all of the information from you without overburdening you with creating a massive application and proposal. So we hope that these are the few areas we're going to go through, and hopefully that is all we need and it's not too much work on your side. So you're going to see some really familiar and basic questions about your organization, what county you serve in. Please note that you can select more than one county. However, we will ask you then to include details around budget and number of people served for each county. So be aware of that ahead of time. The same goes with your investment priority. Down here, as Alyssa mentioned, we're looking for the investment priority framework. That's going to be your guide to what we are looking for and the strategies. It is linked in the chat. It is linked right here in the application as well, and you'll select one of these areas. We've had a lot of questions with people unsure about which investment priority area they belong in. You can select more than one if you feel like you cross over. You can connect with any of our staff members to chat a little bit more about your specific work if you're a little bit unsure. And once we get through this initial application phase, before we move on to a full proposal, we will shift you to a different investment priority if you need to. But we are considering all these applications at once as a whole, rather than looking at just meeting basic needs or just moving the financial stability. So there is no advantage or competition within those. It is all together, all one consideration. So put whatever you think is the best representation of your work. We move in here to talk about who you serve and the people that you serve. And this is the question that is a little bit complex and maybe a little bit different, is around the map. So I want to be sure to show you how this works. This question is going to ask you to select the area or the areas that you serve. This is different from your office location, but is really trying to get us a better idea of the communities that are being served by the work, and where, helping us try to determine and make sure that we're having a decent spread over our communities and not leaving areas as deserts. So we've broken Allegheny County into 14 different service areas, and that's what we're going to ask you to select. And that's these check boxes on the side. If you're serving Armstrong, Butler, Fayette, or Westmoreland, it's just the single county, much simpler. But for Allegheny County, you'll have a link right here to this map, which will take you to a map. All right. Did the map show up on there on the shared screen? Of course not.
Yeah. Cool.
It'll take you to this map,
Okay.
which you can see. It's a Google map, so it's dynamic. You can zoom in, you can move around, you can find exactly the streets and the area that is your service area, and you can see that they have corresponding numbers. So right here, if you're working in Mount Oliver, Carnegie, McKees Rocks, Allegheny 5. If you're going further north or further west into Imperial and around the airport, Allegheny 4, you can see this corresponding numbers. You don't need to do anything on this map other than look at it and see what the numbers are. And then once you go back into the application, which is here. You just check the box that's related to your map. And that's just to give us a little bit better idea of where everybody is serving. There is also a text box there as well. If you feel like you need to give a little bit more explanation or you're unsure or want to give a little bit more context, you have space to do that as well. Moving along, this is what the map will look like. You have an example here. And then we're going to go into your program description. This is really where you can tell us the meat of your proposal. What is it that you're doing? What is it that you want to do? Why are you uniquely equipped to run this program? That's in that program description. And then we ask always, of all programs, what is the anticipated number of individuals that you expect to serve? And that number is there. Moving through, we are asking several DEI questions, as Alyssa mentioned. That's really important to the work we're doing, and we want to make sure that the investments that we're making in the community are in line with that work as well. So we have shared our philosophy around DEI and the definitions that we at United Way use for DE&I, for diversity, equity, and inclusion. And then we're asking you to share with us just what has been your strategy to build community trust in your work. So anything you want to share about that, if you haven't done it, what are some difficulties? Those are that and the map question are the two questions on here that are a little bit new, a little bit different from standard applications. Moving through, we are not going to ask you for a budget at this time. You don't need to attach a budget, but we are going to ask you for your total budget request. The total program budget that you're talking about, your organization budget, and the amount that you are requesting of us. And then, as I said, if you're working in multiple counties, we are going to ask for those details here as well. So there's a breakdown. It looks complicated on this table, but it's simply asking by the 5 counties, what is your program budget? What is your request area per county? And what are the anticipated results? How many people do you expect to serve in each of those counties? If you're only working in 1 or 2, or you're not working in all 5, we have very few that work in all 5. You can just leave the other cells blank on this table or enter a 0 and it will work out. It also has, you can't see it in the screenshot, but it will automatically calculate and total up all of those for you as well. We are going to ask contact information as the final question here. We do 2 fields, and this is important to know when you're signing on as well. We're going to ask for the contact information of your primary person at your organization, the president, the CEO, the executive director, whoever is head of the organization. Just no matter who is filling out the application, we want that information. And then there is a space to add an additional person if somebody other than your executive director is completing the application or working on the program. You can include their contact information as well. But that primary person, that CEO, president, executive director, in our grant system, once grants go through and we do award letters, we need that person to be the one who is signing and submitting things. So we do ask for that specific person as well. And then that's it. That's the whole initial application. No attachments, no uploading. Down at the bottom right here, you'll see you'll have an option here to submit your LOI. That's when it sends it on to us. They still call it an LOI in our system. Or you can save it and come back and work on it again later. All right. And it is due on the 12th, January 12th at 5 p.m. That is a Thursday. So we've got a little bit of buffer time for you to get that into us. We also have a few more options coming up for more information sessions and more assistance and support. Today, that is the virtual session you are in right now. Tomorrow, we also have a workshop with PACE. The Program to Aid Citizen Enterprise is working with us to help provide more in-depth capacity building workshops around this grant. That one is tomorrow. It's 4 hours. There'll be another one next week on November 10th in person. Those are the same workshops. You only need to go to one. All of these are optional. But if you're somebody who is new to the United Way, new to grant writing, new to forming things like a community needs statement, or just want some more assistance and more help thinking through your program and thinking through your application, that's what PACE is there for. We want to make sure that everybody has all of the support and all of the information they need to send their best ideas to us. So those are available coming up. And then again, the application is due January 12th. So before we open this up for questions to all of you, hopefully there are some in the chat. This last slide, it's got a lot of information on it, but this is all of our staff, our community impact team. If you have questions, please do not hesitate to reach out to any of us. We have our community.impact United Way email address that will go to Kara and she'll make sure it goes to the right place. But you can also see for technical questions, you can reach out to me, and then each of the areas our staff members are here and listed, as well as those in the regional office. The last piece of support that we have is we'll be holding office hours. So each of the team members listed here will have office hours sporadically between now and January. If you want to sign up to have one-on-one meetings with them, talk about your specific program. This is where if you're not sure which program to submit, if you're not sure which investment priority to fit under, if you're thinking about a couple different ideas, those are great questions for Sally and Alina and Anna Kay and the rest of the community impact team to take individually. If you received our email, there will be links to sign up for those office hours right on their calendars. But Kara or Charlie, one of you can hopefully drop that in the chat as well. And then you can reach out to Melinda in the office outside of Allegheny County to schedule something with Jared and Jesse if you're interested or learning more about what's happening outside of Allegheny County and get those specific questions answered. All right, that was a lot of talking all at once. I will turn this off and we can take questions. I am going to stop this screen share. So we will share this and the recording as well. I will take these emails down, but we can get them back again. But I want to be able to see something other than this presentation. All right. Questions?
I know we have a couple in the chat, Sarah.
Okay.
I know one of them was coming up in the discussion about if there's no zip code list, how are people supposed to accurately select a region, since some people collect, some organizations are collecting zip codes from their clients?
That's a great question. We have found that the zip codes for a lot of people are more difficult to use. People aren't so sure where the zip codes are attached to. So this is our goal to try to make that be a little bit easier. So there is no zip code list, but you can zoom in on that map and see exactly where the streets are and the neighborhoods. They're built from census tracts. So I think if you look up the zip code, you should be able to compare the difference there. If you're collecting zip codes from clients and not sure where those go, these are pretty large chunks. So I think just a best guess is fine. If you are not totally sure, it's fine if you just want to put multiple to try to catch your whole group. If there are multiple program areas of your request, how do you break that up in the proposal or send individual requests for each program from one agency? That is a great question. So the guidance we've been trying to share and give here is that this initial application phase is really where we're trying to sort that out. So if you feel like your programs are similar enough to fit into single application, if you can talk about them together in the program description, it's fine for them to go on one application. If you feel like they really are very distinct and different and you wouldn't be able to reasonably put them in one application, you can submit more than one at this initial application phase. And then once we come to the invites in the full proposal, we will share a little bit more guidance about which one we want you to submit or a combination or what we think will be the best for submission. As for regions and counties, if you have one program that's covering multiple regions and counties, that's totally fine. You can just select multiple counties and write about the same program. If you have different programs in different counties, then I would do two different ones. If Alyssa or any other team members have anything to add to that question, please jump in as well.
I did see that people were asking about whether they would be able to get the recording of this presentation and the slides. And I believe they will,
Yes.
but I did want to clarify, will it be sent to people or will they, like, after we're finished?
I will send the recording and the slides out to everybody as long as if you got this link by registering through the Zoom, then we have that email and then we'll send it back out. We will send it back out to do that. If you didn't, or you're unsure, reach out to us, send us an email, and we'll make sure that you get it at some point. I also just a low battery warning. So if I disappear, somebody on Community Impact will pick this up while I find my plug.
We also got a question about how many invites do you anticipate on inviting to submit the full proposal? And I will say that I believe that will be difficult for us to say until we know how many initial proposals we get in. And given that this is the first time we have done this together in 5 counties and under all priorities, I think it will be very difficult for us to anticipate numbers at this point.
Yeah, all questions related to the number of grants, size of grants, all of this is based on each individual application. United Way has forever and continues to want to work with a wide range of organizations of all different sizes and programs that are all different scales, and that means our range is really large. So the number of grants that we give and the number of proposals that we send invitations to will all be completely dependent on the size of each of those proposals that are coming in. So unfortunately, we can't tell you that now, but we can tell you that we are not entering this with any kind of expectation of we will have this many grants in meeting basic needs. We will have this many grants in financial stability. We'll have this many in building for success. We have no expectation of that. We just want to see where the applications are coming out.
Someone in the chat did ask, is funding for current programming available or allowable or new programming only? And I responded that current or new programming is welcome. And also feel free to unmute if you'd like to chat. We don't have to do just the just the chat. Let's see, and we got another one. You stated that there's no limit. I think that means like funding limit for the request. Is there a range that is best to stay within? So I am going to take the opportunity to point everybody to the FAQs, which I'm not sure if the link was already put into the chat or not, but the FAQ webpage on the United Way website does address that, and I will just say that basically we serve a wide range of organizations. As such, award sizes also span a wide range and are dependent on several factors, including the county, the number of people served. And so essentially the idea is that it is that the budget matches the project and that we see where the costs are coming from and how the funding will be used. And we'll look at that as the most important pieces of information in terms of the size of the request. Let's see, and Charlie has just, or will put in the link for the FAQs. There we go, it's there. Oh, good. Misty said the FAQs are very informative. That's great. We tried to put as much information in there as possible, so.
And Annika, I do see there were several more questions about the map and the zip code, and we can definitely look into if there's a way that we can overlay zip codes on at least the Allegheny County portion of the map. So we'll work on that, understanding that that might be a better way for people to put in their populations that they're serving people.
Great.
Anna Kay, I had a question that I wrote in there. Can you give us any more insight into what the full applications are going to look like? Are they going to be similar to what we've seen in the past with inputs and outputs and all that language?
Thanks, Flory. Yes, the full application will have an optional logic model, as well as ask for, goals of the program, a little more information on with an equity question, and then more full documentation in terms of financial budgeting and the typical documentation that's submitted for grants in terms of financial review.
Thank you.
Sure. So Charlie's just put in the chat a link to the community impact grant page and the FAQs. Does anyone else have any other questions that we can answer at this time?
And just to say that this is not your last opportunity to ask questions and to have answers. So we'll all be available for other input, comments, questions, clarity through the PACE workshops, as well as the one-to-one office hours with our team.
Let's see, it looks like we just got a question from Kim about if we're interested in beginning in Allegheny County for the first year, but expanding to other counties in years 2 and 3. How should we convey that? It sounds like the answer should focus solely on plans for year 1. That's correct. And this is a 3-year grant. Yes. So if you're interested in expanding, I think, and anybody else feel free to jump in here because that's not something we've talked about a lot, but I think if you're interested in expanding, it would be important to note that at least in the program portion where you're describing the program and what you want to do and who you want to serve. And I think putting that in the narrative is where you would express your desire for that. And that you would, of course, take that into consideration as you looked at your budget for future years. But of course, anybody else on the team, feel free to jump in if there's.
I'll just add that the narrative is the good place to talk about that. And then what you should not worry about is in that table where you're putting your budget and your request amount and your number of people served by county. If that's something that your expansion is you have planned out and you know what that information could look like, you could include it. But otherwise, I would say just leave it as Allegheny and talk narratively about that expansion effort. I see there's a question on the chat about the PACE sessions. Did that get answered while I was running? Okay. Sorry about that. So the workshops in PACE, again, they are part of what PACE does is to do the capacity building. So they're experts in this, and we've asked them to walk through the applications that we just showed you and to be able to really focus on figuring out and helping organizations best articulate what their ideas are. So it's less about, in this stage, about how to fill out the application and what the questions are, and more about working directly with what it is that you're trying to do to make sure that you're able to articulate that on the application in a way that we understand the impact and that we can see it. So it is a lot more hands-on working through each of the pieces. They will do those workshops again in the second phase to focus on things like budget and logic model. But at this first level, they'll really just be trying to focus on making a strong application that shows your work. All right.
Thanks, Sarah. Yeah.
If there's nothing else, then I'm going to the links to the workshops. Yes, I will share all of those things again. If I can find it.
Nice.
So I'm going to put up here, this is this one. Charlie, can you put that link to register for the PACE workshops in the chat again? And it's just one link for both the November 3rd registration and the November 10th. Just within the form, you select which one you want. So it's the same link for that. All right. And then before we go, I'm going to put this one back up. If you want to jot down any email addresses or names, you can reach out to us that way as well. All right. Thank you everyone for joining us today. We're excited to be doing this. We've been planning it for quite some time and are glad to share it with you, and even more excited to see what great work you're doing in the community and see what comes up on those applications. So thanks again, and we look forward to hearing more from you.
Thank you, everyone. Nice to see some familiar faces and some new faces.
Thanks, everybody. Have a great day.
Bye-bye.
Have a good day. Bye.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate your help.
Thanks, everyone. Keep smiling, Damon. Good to see everyone. United Way team, you did a great job with this. Thanks a lot. Have a good one.
Hey, you too,
Thanks,
Dave.
Dave. You too.
Yeah.